yes, we said last week it wasn't over, and it's not. Derby County get their win, and we're here to review all the social media fallout from it. We got Kieran, Peyton, and Luke, and Stacey. And guys, you won one. Yes, let's see them happy faces.
Yes. Come on.
Finally.
Okay. This week we're talking about, the brilliance that was that performance by Derby County this week, and who stood out on the pitch. We're also talking about wages as well, and wage structures at Derby. And, of course, we're asking, who do you want to come up from League One? But before we get to all of that, Kieran, that felt good, didn't it, when that whistle finally went? That must have felt the longest second half you've ever been through.
Oh, it was brilliant. I'm so glad we got that win finally. First win of the year. I think everyone's spirits were just lifted. I don't know, the atmosphere just felt so positive, oddly, when we were, considering our form and our league position. Yeah, it was great. It was great winning against Eustace, the old side. Fantastic.
Yeah, this tweet was absolutely hilarious. Cam says, we might go down to League One, but seeing this lot on their first ever away trip put their snakes away and sheepishly bring out their Venky's old banner while singing Champions of England, you never sing that, to two-time winners is absolutely priceless. Peyton, was it one of the better atmospheres of the year for you, that one?
I'd honestly say it was probably the best, which is probably not a great thing, seeing as we've won other games at home this season. But I think, especially with the whole getting a new manager in and them not really liking him because of the way it all happened, it gave the fans something to sing about before the game had even started. And it gave the fans something to sing about for the first 5 minutes. And obviously, the goal went in, the first one. And at that point, we hadn't scored at home since Boxing Day. So that was a strange feeling. So we celebrated that for a while, and then we just finished celebrating the first one, and the second one went in. So by 10 minutes, it was, we were in dreamland, to be honest. And from there, the atmosphere just carried on, even throughout their goal. And it's something that I've not seen at Derby in a while, and it's good to see when it feels like that's what we need to be like for the next 10 games or next 5 games at home, or however much it is, to keep us in the fight.
Yeah. We're going to talk about Kane Wilson in particular in a second, Stace, but who else stood out for you?
I think probably Ebu Adams. He was a real driving force on Saturday. He got his goal as well. But I think, in all fairness, the whole team, it's just after the warm-ups, Phil came over to the south stand. They really looked up for it, applauded the crowd, the atmosphere with the Blackburn fans and all their snakes and everything was quite entertaining. And then we went very quiet within the first 10 minutes. So, yeah, and then we held on. It's just a relief, really. Wait 3 months for a goal, then we get 2 at home.
No, I was listening to it on the radio on my way to Molineux as an Everton fan, Luke, and I'd heard the first goal win and thought, oh, that's interesting. Then 4 minutes later for another one to come in. Do you think that was, not to discredit, of course, because it's finally got some goals. Do you think it was really bad defending and goalkeeping? Or do you think it was class from your part, or a mixture of both?
I think it's a mixture of both. I mean, the first goal, the cross has come in. There's a bit of pandemonium in the box, and Foz is just managed to stick his leg out at the age of what is he now, 50? Still bagging goals for us. The bloke's Mr. Derby County. He's always there, Mr. Reliable. And then for the second one, it's just scrappy in the middle again. Forced to Ebu, bangs it in, salutes the crowd. We're in dreamland.
There was a tweet that says you need to knock down the Clough statue and put the Foz statue up now. I think it's good. Miguel says, delight we beat that lot. The win gives us hope. It's a hope that kills you, though, isn't it, Kieran? Hopefully we can get some players back from injury to help with the running. Come on, you Rams. And Jerome Jones says the Jeff Hendricks effect, of course, which we didn't see coming, I'm guessing, Kieran, either. Midweek as well. What's been different about Eustace's derby to Paul Warren's derby? Can you put your finger on it yet?
I think there was a lot of intensity, and I thought there was some belief that we could get a point or a 3. And I felt like we just. I did read an interview in the week about how his training tactics are a little bit different to Paul Warren's in the sense that they've done shorter sessions but raised intensity. And the first 10 minutes, we saw that on display on the pitch. So it's. I think it's galvanised the team, especially since we've had a lot of injuries. Salverson's now out for the season, so I was delighted, and I'm really happy.
Yeah. Let's talk about Kane Wilson then, Peyton, because he was the one player I think from social media that I could have made like 10 slides for for this one. Carl says he's possibly our only shining light this season from an attacking perspective. Kane can turn defence into attack. He's been sorely missed for the last few weeks. We need to keep him fit now as he makes things happen. Brian says, I love the Buffalo. Paul says, getting Kane Wilson man of the match. And Pop Size Fanatic says, it's like a new signing. How good was he, Peyton?
Oh, well, it's Kane Wilson. We all know how good he is. We saw it in League One a lot towards the end of the season when he finally got a run of games. He's so good on the ball, and he just feels like he can get past a player every time. He almost feels like he's a winger, like an old-style winger that just always beats the man and gets the ball in. His crossing isn't the best thing he's got in the world, but he just wins corners and gets the ball high up the pitch, and he's very solid defensively, to be fair to him. And I'm glad that we got him back and he started, which is surprised. I was quite surprised about. And he played 90. So if he can play 90 for the rest of the season, I feel like we've got a real chance of scoring a lot more goals, which is a lot better, which means we can win games. But I think one player that hasn't been mentioned, I think needs to be mentioned, Harrison Armstrong. Absolutely quality. Looks like a 28-year-old midfielder, not someone who's played 2 league games for us. Didn't put a foot wrong all game, looked really good on the ball, a lot of really good challenges, and got a very deserved standing ovation when he came off. Yeah,
you can thank me as an Everton fan for that if you want. But no, you're not going to. Right. Kuna says, finally, we've got a manager, Stace, that actually is passionate about this club. T says, I love this guy a million times more than the last one. There's no blame directed his way wherever we end up this season. Yeah, are you buying into the Eustace project? He's there on the touchline. He got a lot of abuse, didn't he? So he probably wasn't.
Yeah, I'm buying into the project, and I think the players are brought into it. But I'm not sure about this passion thing because Paul Warren came across as quite a passionate man to me. So I think that's a bit of a slight on Warren, really. But yeah, there was a real feel-good factor coming out of the ground yesterday, and you could see the belief come back, and hopefully that win boosts the confidence going into the last 10 games of the season and get a bit of momentum.
Yeah, and that's where we head with your question now then, Luke. So can you now do this? I mean, when you look at Pompey's result today, there's probably a club now you can't catch. Do you see it as you, Hull and Cardiff, and that's it now? And Stoke, sorry, as well?
Yeah, I think so. Like you say, I always thought we'd do it. And like you say, Saturday just gave me even more belief to do it. Got us down to 4 points. All the results went our way. Coventry scoring in the last minute because obviously we went into the ground. I didn't realise it was 2-2. I thought I'll just have a quick check, and I thought Coventry scored. I thought that's incredible for us. All we need to do now is get our job done. Did the job. Results went our way. Yeah, we're going to get on a roll now.
And your last game of the season is at home against...
It might be Stoke.
It's Stoke.
God, your nerves wouldn't be able to cope, would you? Imagine if that game is winner stays up. Would you be able to cope, Kieran, in that kind of...
I don't think I could.
Pressure? No, okay. Lots of football to play before we get there. Of course, 2 big games, of course, this week as well, and we'll talk about Plymouth next. We're recording this before the midweek game, so we don't know how that's gone. But Kieran, this is a classic 6-pointer this weekend, isn't it, at Plymouth?
100%. I feel like when it comes to the Coventry game, I would love to get a point. I would love to win 100%, but Coventry are in great form. I feel like Frank Lampard's got them up in the playoff spot. So I don't mind if Coventry is a write-off if we can get the 3 points against Plymouth, because I think their manager is quality, but I think they've left it too late. I'm hoping we can get 3 points, gain a bit of momentum, and go into the last few weeks of the season and just keep on going, keep on pushing it.
Cheers for that. One final thing to talk about this week, the news coming out of Derby, Hayton, is this. How gutting it is, and the 2 ACLs, previous 800k spent on a 2.5-year deal. The intelligence motor is lacking intelligence. It says here, having a pop. What's your thoughts on this?
First of all, it's not an ACL injury, so I don't know. He said it about the ACL, and he's had ACL injuries, but it wasn't an ACL. And he said on his thing that he had to clear it up. He did his knee. He's had surgery on it. But I mean, it's really unfortunate timing because it feels like the moment that we get someone who can put deliveries into the box and get the ball high up the pitch for someone who's a striker who thrives from aerial battles is back. The striker's injured for the rest of the season. And I mean, it's unfortunate to see, but we're going to move on without Salverson. And a bit selfishly and maybe a good thing is he's definitely going to be here next season, no matter where we are, which is a positive, I'd say. Because if he goes and plays his half of the season and we go down, but bangs in, 6 or 7 goals, there's going to be championship clubs going, oh, I want him. And no matter where we are, I'd like to have him up front, to be honest with you. But the injury, it's an unfortunate thing. And I mean, it's the same with all the other injuries that came out with Kemal Roof, Ben Osborne, Ryan Nyambi, probably about 18 of the coaching staff, the bus driver. But it's unfortunate, but the team are going to move on, and it'll probably give the youth players a very, very good opportunity to do something in these last 10 games, and maybe even one of them bags a goal, an important goal for us, and just proves our academy pedigree.
All right, yeah, bad luck. Is it just as you found a decent player, but well done this week. We said it would be a win. Well, I think I said it was a win. You none of you did. But yeah, back on the up. Let's talk about wages, though. That's our theme this week because we've had lots of graphics that have been produced about how much each team is spending. Now, this isn't confirmed by the club at all yet, but good sources say that Derby have spent more than Coventry and Millwall and QPR and Bristol City on wages this year. First of all, Stace, does that surprise you at all? Did you expect to see that as high as it is?
Well, before the season started, Mr. Klaus came out and did an interview and said we'd got a competitive budget. So it's probably where I thought we would be, really. Surprised we're spending more than Coventry. But yeah, I thought we'd be in the bottom half, mid sort of table sort of spenders.
Yeah. And what about the top 10 wages then in the club, Luke? When we have a look at that, I mean, obviously the loan players there don't speak for themselves. We don't know how much of those loans you're paying off, but is there any surprises there? I mean, you don't have any players earning over $1 million a year, like we look at Leeds and Burnley, who the whole squad are on $1 million.
Yeah, like you say, Nat Phillips is going to be a big earner, but obviously we don't know how much of that we're paying with Liverpool as well. I mean, Ben Osborne's just been a bit of a shambles signing. Really, I thought he'd be good, but yeah, it's wages we don't really need to be spending on that. I'm not really surprised about anyone else, really. I mean, Jerry Yates again, loan. You don't know how much we're paying with Swansea, but again, Caden Jackson is probably way too high on that as well, in my opinion. But I think everything else is pretty much bang on, I'd say.
Yeah. When you put those two things together, Luke, the wages and the position, how well run do you believe Derby is now?
I mean, there's still a lot of stuff to be done at the top of the club, I think. The recruitment's not been the best. I mean, everyone knows about it. Pearce just needs to be gone from the club. I mean, the amount of injuries we keep getting as well. I don't know what we're doing to these players, but something drastically needs to change going on from this season onto the next one.
Okay. All right. Let us know what you think in the comments below in relation to should the club be doing more, and how well run you think Derby is. Finally, this week we're asking you all to pick your League One promotion teams. Who would you like to see come up from League One? Now you know this league very well yourself, having only been there last year, so you've got some old friends here who I'm sure are desperate to see you again. One name from each of you, please, if that's okay. Kieran, which one team would you, presuming you survive, would you like to have up playing again next season?
I would love Stockport County. Someone new, someone different. And I think they only just got promoted last season. So, yeah, I would love Stockport.
Okay. Peyton?
I really want to see Reading. I feel like they've been through it a little bit, and it would be good to see them back in the Championship, back up, and getting through adversity like we did.
Luke?
Now, I'm going to be a bit selfish here because there's two I'd want because I've done all the other away games. So I'll either like to see Wrexham or Stockport do it because obviously I think Wrexham would be a cracking away day, and so would Stockport. So either one of them two.
Okay. Stace?
Stockport, the fact they've gone through League Two, looking like they could get through League One back into the Championship would be good. And also, it's them and they're one of the only players, them and Wrexham, of any teams I've not been to. So selfish a little bit there as well. But yeah, the fantasy and dream around it, Stockport on that rise is really good, isn't it?
Yeah. Any teams you wouldn't want to see on there that you'd have dislike for?
Birmingham. They're really boring. They spent £15 million on a striker in League One.
Yeah, it's embarrassing.
It would be really funny to watch them go down next season with their £15 million striker. So if they do come up, I'd laugh at them coming back down again.
Okay.
I think Wrexham, for me, with all the money they've thrown at it, they've not really gone about it the right way, as far as I'm concerned.
All right. Well, let us know again what you think, whether you're on the right lines or not. Right, good luck then this week, especially if you're heading down to Plymouth this weekend. What a fan you are. Enjoy your travels, safe trip there, and we'll be back in 7 days' time to review it all. Thank you very much.